Was was that shit just hold on? Yo, why the fuck is this?
Oh,
I can't hear myself. Hold on. Technical difficulty. Okay, that should be good now. What up,
all
Rashawn?
right, we good. All right, cool,
Yeah,
cool.
because it was like telling me I had to free up space. I was going around just deleting whole streams and shit like that.
Oh shoot.
Um, yeah. So apologize there for that little hiccup and whatnot. I don't even think it played my intro or nothing like that. I don't know what the fuck was going on.
I
But
saw
anyways,
I saw somewhat of an intro, I guess, with the blood coming down. I think that was the intro, right?
yeah. Okay, good. You
Yeah,
saw it on your
yeah.
end. That's
I
all that
saw.
matters.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, because it was black on my screen. I was like, I hope it didn't come out like that, but it is what it is. This is Horror Never Dies, Season 1, Episode 3, The State of Horror. Welcome back. Last week we talked about horror for newcomers, but this we're going to just talk about the state of horror and just other things that have came out this week in horror. Specifically The Nun 2, because that's the horror movie that's being talked about over this weekend. A lot of mixed reviews. Some people liked it more than the first, but we'll get into all that. But how you doing, Rashad?
I'm doing good, fam. You know what I like about these, bro? I ain't gotta show my face, so I can be as comfortable as I can. I ain't gotta worry about getting glammed up. You
Yeah,
know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Grease my head up, put the lights on and everything, man. I'm just sitting in the comfort of my living room in my recliner, comfortable as shit, man. So yeah, I like this format right here.
yeah. That's what it's all about. You know what I'm saying? And if people want to come on here and show their faces, it's whatever, however you felt comfortable about it. You know what I'm saying? You never knew it's gonna pop up, but I appreciate people checking out last week's episode. And for this episode, if you're checking out the replay or catching this live, yeah, definitely make sure you share it out. Hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and also comment, on whatever we talk about. So I wanted to kind of, because I was talking about this behind in the back room and shit like that about this specific tweet I saw. Now, this person's got like quite a big following, but I can tell just by this tweet he doesn't watch horror or doesn't watch that much horror. Um, let's see if I can pull it up. This is what he was saying. He's like, The Nun 2 is further proof that the horror genre is in a decline at a steady pace, with only a few good horror movies that release each year, while the rest feeling exactly like this film. The genre is at risk at losing interest and the box office appeal.
Hmm.
And that couldn't be more big cap because I was like, did you not see all the horror movies that came out last year? Shit was crazy. Like,
Right, right.
and they all were successful, and a lot of the films this year were successful. So I don't know what he means by the decline. Like, we didn't have Evil Dead Rises or Scream Six, or you know what I'm saying. And even if it was like a movie that was viewed as bad, it still made money. Like, Insidious still made almost 100 mil. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what he means by that. But if you could say that about the Conjuring movies themselves within that Conjuring universe, they are on a decline because they're doing the same shit. But just by that tweet, I could just tell he doesn't watch a lot of horror movies. You know what
Well,
I'm
I
saying?
mean, dog, you already know, man. It's popular with this internet space to be that person that gets all the click, the clickbait stuff. Like, okay, so most people say this. Okay, if I say the opposite, then guess what? I'm gonna get people talking about me, and that's exactly what this person's doing. I mean, I don't know them, I don't follow them, but I know that type of, okay, well, everybody likes Spider-Man No Way Home, so I'm gonna be the person that says it's the worst comic book movie ever. People are gonna be like, "Oh my god, I can't believe you said that." So yeah, just like a shock jock, a clickbaiter, one of those.
Yeah, because to say that, I was like, yo, did you not see Nope last year? X and Pearly dropped two movies back to back, like Terrifier 2. You know what I'm saying? Like we had so many bangers, and it was just like it was very few horror movies that came out last year. I could say that was like abysmal, like Jeepers Creepers Reborn, and like I really didn't like Hellraiser. Wasn't terrible, but it just wasn't my cup of tea. And that's coming from somebody that's not a huge Hellraiser fan like that. But you know what I'm saying?
I mean, and also,
It's
because bro, like you've seen my reviews, man. So there were some horror movies that I absolutely despise, but then there ones that I really, to me, it's just like it's so much variety now of horror, where it's like for a horror fan, there's so many variety out there. So even for every two that you don't like, there's gonna be five that you are like, damn, this is like the greatest shit ever. You know what I mean? So, yeah, like I think that's a false statement that he made, because I think horror right now is more popular than it's ever been. So being that I'm an old head, I could say this. Growing up in the '80s and even the '90s, you know what I'm saying? Horror was specifically a cult thing. You know what I'm saying? Like there wasn't a big horror fan base, but but the horror fans were hardcore fans. You know what I mean? But it wasn't the masses though. So now it seems like the horror genre is like to the masses, it's more mainstream. And I think it's one of the more popular genres. I mean, the box office receipts may not say so, but you got more people talking about horror than any other genre. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's what I think.
Yeah, and it's like and it's just how you kind of look at it. And they make these movies so cheap, so it's like a horror movie could be made for $5 million and still make like 50 million, and that's a success.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But people will look at it like, oh, that's not a lot, but that's a lot. Like with Terrifier 2, bring that back up. That budget was $250,000, $10 million. That's insane. And not to say there's not bad horror movies, but there's always bad horror movies, and even those can still do well financially. Let Q in here. What up, Q?
Oh, what up, though? What up?
Big Q, what's the deal? Pickles, is everything kosher?
Yeah, we're just talking about this tweet that I found. If you want to kind of read it over.
Yeah, I was listening while I was setting up my camera. Yep.
Yeah. So how do you feel about this? Like, do you feel like horror is in a decline?
No, horror's in an upclimb. Like I just heard you mention Terrifier 2. That movie's all independent. They got bank off of that. You know what I'm saying? So like horror's Evil Dead Rises, they thought that movie was so good it was going to go to HBO Max. They decided to release that in theater and and made money. You know what I'm saying? Megan this year just made over 100 million. You know what I'm saying, off that little budget.
Close to,
Yeah, so like no, horror is winning.
And also like, and that's another thing is just like you just go in the AMC app. I always see like you start to see more of these like horror movies and stuff like that that are lower budget and stuff. I think because of the draw of Terrifier 2 and stuff like that, and obviously they need to put some more movies in, and you know what I'm saying. But seeing like the Sloth movie, I just saw Don't Look Away. I was disappointed with that, but at least I was just like, I wanted to support it because it's horror and it's just like a small budgeted movie and stuff like that. I wanted to kind of see what it was going to be about, and damn, they really dropped the ball on that. But that I wouldn't use The Nun 2 as like the example of horror just being in the decline. I would say the Conjuring movies are in the decline. Like they need to kind of go back to the drawing board with certain things. I don't know, Q. Did you get around to seeing The Nun 2?
I haven't seen The Nun 2, but like y'all can talk about it. Spoiler. I'm pretty. I'm saying I pretty much get it. The nun is back.
Yeah, you say if you saw the trailer, you pretty much saw the movie, which is unfortunate. I mentioned that I was like, yo, if they would have like that whole magazine scene, Rashad, like that could have been something really dope if like we didn't see that in the trailer, because I thought that was really creative, like certain set pieces and stuff like that. The funniest shit was in that third act though, she got fucking rocked, bro. I was like, bro,
Yeah, that
you should
third
not
act,
be
yeah.
getting out. You shouldn't get out. Like I like Valak as a horror like a horror character and shit like that. I like the design, like a scary nun. Even though like it depends on who's writing for that specific movie and stuff, like they could do better. But I like just how disrespectful he is. He doesn't care if you're a kid. You know what I'm saying? He don't care if there's
Right.
multiple people around. He don't, hide or nothing like that. He'll make himself known. Like him burning the priest at the beginning and stuff like that. Like him just creeping around the corners and stuff like that stuff was effective. But there's certain things that would have made that nun movie better. Specifically, just them cutting away from like certain kills or just panning up. I was like,
that worked my
I hate
fucking
that.
nerves. That worked my nerves. Like I was questioning, I'm like, is this shit PG-13 or is it R?
Yeah.
It was doing that Friday the 13th New Blood type deal where every time they get ready to kill somebody, that shit cuts away real quick.
Cut away. Yeah, I hate that too. Yeah.
Like there's this one kid. I understand like that you can't show kids being harmed, but at least like because like that one scene would have been cool. Just because he pins up one of the kids against the wall and like I guess like snaps their neck and like rips it off or some shit like that. Like brutally like fucks this kid up.
Yeah.
But then there's other parts where it's just like you kind of shy away from the violence. And sometimes when you show that violence, it's a little bit more effective. And I think that's why I like Terrifier 2 so much because like they didn't hold back at all. Like them kills like that. Nothing really is. That's what makes me like excited about Terrifier 3 because they got like $1 million budget. Like, what can they do now with just $1 million and just how can they top that bedroom scene? And I like it. Say what you want about like these legacy horror movies because it's a lot mixed for some people, like Halloween Ends and Scream and stuff. They brought like this kind of brutality to them in these new ones that weren't there really in the like early Screams. Like not the first one, but like I felt like Scream 2, 3, they kind of held back on the violence a little bit, and then they really started getting more aggressive with like 4, 5, and 6. Same thing with like Halloween a little bit and whatnot. I don't know if y'all agree with me, but
yeah, I would say so. Yeah, I think this last Scream 6 was one of the most brutal ones. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I really like that one. I really like that beginning of Scream 6 too. They kind of did something different. And I was like, okay, y'all really showing it. So yeah, I definitely, will definitely agree there. But like, yeah, Terrifier is independent though, so they can do. It's no.
yeah.
There's no studio behind them stopping from them what they want to do. Their vision is their vision. They're gonna put it out there. You know what I'm saying? Whether you like it or not. You know what I'm saying? But well, what the funny thing is, people gravitating towards that. Like in the 80s, they weren't afraid to show a lot of the, you know what I'm saying, brutal violence. I mean, that's what the whole, I'm a Fangoria kid. That's what I came up on, like the blood and the gore, the special effects and stuff like that. And somewhere in the late 80s, early 90s, it kind of lost that. A little bit, you know what I'm saying? And now we're getting back to some great effects again, which I like.
Well, Q, you know, I was just thinking that, bro, because I'm like, when I see a studio made horror film, like I already know, okay, this shit's gonna be light. You know what I'm saying? Like if I see Warner Brothers or Paramount, I'm like, okay, this gonna be light shit. So I don't know. I think for horror really to make a comeback, man, make most of them shits independent, bro. Because like independent, like you say, you could do anything you want. Take it back to Evil Dead 2, bro. Evil Dead 2 was independent, didn't have no studio backing, and it slowly built up momentum to where, you know, word of mouth. Because at first, remember,
was it Evil Dead 1 or 2?
It was the second one. The second one, at first, nobody even knew it was out. But then when people saw it, they was like, "Yo, you see this shit?" And then word spread around. Then slowly, it started climbing up in the box office till I don't know if it ever took the #1 spot, but it was in the theater for a while because of word of mouth, because how dope it was. But if Warner Brothers would have got a hold of it, they would have fucking butchered that shit, yo.
For sure. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, like Warner Brothers did it. I think you know, the newer one. I think that one lies more in production value than actual brutal violence, which is good though. You know what I'm saying? I think that's a good movie though too. You can have your mix too. Shining's not brutally violent, but it still works though. You know, but you know, I think with these lower budget movies, you know what I'm saying, the independent ones, show me the gore, baby. Show me,
Right.
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? I want to see somebody head
That-
explode in camera in
Yeah.
HD 4K. You know what I'm saying?
Even if like you hated Halloween Ends, I was like, that was a great opening scene with the kid just
That shit was
falling down.
hilarious.
I was like,
Yeah.
whoa, they went there. Like,
Yeah.
you know what
I
I'm saying?
love-
They went there with that.
Yeah, I love it when they kill kids in movies. I think I did a video about that. Like, where, you know, the worst kids dying in movies. Like, in what was it, Doctor Sleep, when they sucked the kid's soul
Yeah,
out?
that was
bad.
crazy. That was
Yeah.
crazy. It wasn't playing. Yeah.
This dude said, I like when kids get killed.
I mean,
That's what I'm saying. If you're gonna go there, go there. Especially like,
Yeah.
don't be holding back just because all their kids or they can't. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right,
There's a
right.
tasteful way you could do it. I'm not saying you should just like, you know, completely. You know what I'm saying? There's a tasteful way of doing it, and there's a distasteful way of doing it. I'm looking at you, a Serbian film. Don't be a Serbian film. You don't need to, you know,
Yeah.
go that far with shit. But Terrifier 2 just set another bar just for like slashers in general. And it's
Right,
just, like,
right.
that's why like
And-
you look at like the Nun 2 or something like that, and they like cut away from kills. It's like, bro, stop doing that, please. Like,
But you know,
just-
it wasn't just that I had a problem with the Nun 2. Now, okay, so first compliments, I think it was shot very well. Like there was some
Mhm.
shots that they did in the Nun 2 where I was like, damn, that could be a poster. So I liked the way it was shot. Some of the setups I thought were, you know, where they set the kill up, I thought was effective. But I think they overdid the jump scares. Like it got to a point where
Most
the jump
definitely.
scares was like it was overkill. You know what I'm saying? To the point where I'm like, I can see this shit coming a mile away, and it's weak now. And it felt too clean. You know what I'm saying? I like my horror films dirty and grimy. You know what I'm saying? I want to feel uncomfortable when I watch a horror film, from the sound effects to the creepy score. And I feel the Nun 2 is too
Safe.
Hollywood eyes. It's too safe, yeah.
too polished. Yeah.
Too polished. It didn't take no chances. You see everything coming. There was one time where I did say, okay, that shit was kind of creepy. The thing with the goat.
That shit was crazy. I was like, I want to see a whole movie about that. Like, that'd be crazy.
Yeah.
Because it's pretty much like a goat monster. It looked like it pretty much like a Baphomet, like pretty much. You know what I'm saying? But they kept it in the shadows, but it was just like it would just be like it'd just be chasing these kids. I was like, yo, that shit looks terrifying.
Yeah,
and I was like, that'd be a dope spinoff to have.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing that. Yeah, because I watched it in Dolby. So yeah, when it was like running, like you felt every fucking step that it took, and it kind of creeped me out a little bit. So yeah, that. But overall, I thought the movie was very average, man. It was mediocre to me. Like I'm not gonna say it was bad, but I'm not gonna say like, yo, Q, but you gotta watch nothing. That shit's gonna fuck you up. Nah, you should watch and be like, all right, that's cool.
Q should watch the Nun 2 just for that specific scene where like Valak just rocks the shit out of Sister Ben. That shit was so anime, bro. Like that whole third act felt like an anime where she's sitting there getting burnt and shit, and then she's having the flashback, and then she get the power of Jesus, like the power of Christ compels you and shit, and just starts going off. And that's my one gripe of it, where they could have really surprised people and be like, yeah, this is the last Nun film, and Valak's gonna win. Like he's gonna wreck everybody. He got what he needed. That's why, like, they explain why he got glowing eyes. You know what I'm saying? So,
wait, okay,
it's just like,
is the Nun actually a dude?
Well, I'm just calling the demon. Oh. That's for like, it's just the form it's taken as a dude, I guess. But it's like it's just taking it, and all that was really dope. How the nuns were kind of telling that ghost story and stuff, like about Valak and stuff like that, and that whole the little girls that were picking on what is her name, Sophie, and telling her how like they're playing that game and that cut off part of the school or whatever where they weren't supposed to go in. That's where we got the whole goat thing. I was like, that was pretty dope and eerie and stuff like that. Because jump scares don't really do nothing for me. Even though there was a couple of jump scares that were like, okay, you got me. But there's so many, like, I don't think you need to heavily rely on just be like, ooh, let me jump out and scare. Like, just make the shit feel unsettling. Like you said, like, get that atmosphere right. Because most people aren't going to be afraid, especially if you've grown and you've seen a bunch, you know what I'm saying? A lot of stuff is not going to scare you, but like the atmosphere and get you out your comfort zone and stuff like that. That's what they kind of need to focus on. Because I think James Wan did a great job with that, with the first Conjuring stuff. Like,
Well, even
how
that
he.
first Insidious, bro. I saw the first Insidious for the first time before going to see the third one, and yeah, that was probably one of the most effective ways to use jump scares I've ever seen in a movie. Because, for a PG-13 horror, that scared me more than the damn Nun did. That first Insidious movie, that shit was PG-13, yo, and that fucked me up a little bit.
Yeah. I was watching that with my son when he was like a baby on the tablet. We're just watching the movie. You know, and we're both chilling, bro. You know what I'm saying? He could handle it. He used to watch Walking Dead, but like, you know, and then it must have been Insidious 2, one of them. And when the red demon, just like, it was a hell of a jump scare. Nobody expected. I don't remember the exact part. And my son looked at me. I looked at him, and you know what I'm saying? We jumped off the couch so fast, bro.
I think I know what you're talking about, Q. I think it was a scene where they were at the breakfast table or whatever.
Yeah,
and it was just two characters just talking, right? They were just talking, and then when the camera cut to the mom, the demon was just, the face was just sitting right there next to her, and I said, "Oh,
yeah." My son he was a baby. He already got big eyes, so his eyes looked at me for me to save him. Like, oh shit, I can't save you. I was just right here. You know, man. Like, you know.
Yeah, but you know,
yeah, go ahead.
But I was about to say, like, you know, speaking about that, like rated R movies not being scary and like a PG-13 movie, It Lives Inside, that new movie that's coming out. I was disappointed because I was like, that's PG-13 too, but that looks at least scary. You know, that looks like that. Like, let that come out and that'd be scarier than the Nun and shit. That'll tell you a lot right there. And you know what I'm saying? And
I said this in my review, man. I said, you know, it's sad that the Equalizer 3 had more graphic kills than the Nun, and that's supposed to be a horror movie. And Equalizer is an action movie, and Denzel was more brutal than the Nun or the Demon or whatever.
Yeah,
Denzel was fucking niggas up in Equalizer 3. You know what I'm saying? Nun, that shit was like shaky cam, cutaway. Couldn't really see what was going on. You know what I mean? So yeah. Denzel slash of the year, bro.
because they have the atmosphere right for the Nun too. It's just like the execution was poorly done. Right,
yeah.
What were you gonna say, Q?
Oh no, I was just saying, Denzel, even Equalizer 1, that third act, like the Home Alone when he was in Home Depot and shit, like that was very, very good.
Hey, I'm surgical with this bitch, Jake.
Yeah, that's great. I want to see Denzel in a horror movie. That'd be dope.
I think that'd be dope. He was though. Like I remember he was Chasing the Devil in one with John Goodman and something. It was like a horror thriller.
That was that wasn't the Bone Collector, right? What was
Can't think of the name of it right now.
Shit.
It had I know what you're talking about though. I See a Red Door. I Want to Paint It Black, but in that Story Echoes. But it was in that movie too. I think I can't think of the damn name of it right now. It was all right though. He played a cop again, but like I like to see him play a villain. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A villain. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that'd be dope.
In a horror movie. Yeah.
Like speaking about smaller movies and stuff, because I watched Don't Look Away. Was it last weekend?
Mm-hmm.
And I said I was disappointed because like the premise of it is there's this mannequin, and it just smiles. The mannequin really, like I said this in my review. It looks like Beavis but with dark hair and stuff. But like it's really creepy. And like if you look, the whole thing is like it's kind of like a It Follows kind of premise where if you like kind of look away from it, that's when it starts to kind of like, you know, kill you or something like that. But it's just the acting in that shit was just so flat and atrocious. It's just like the mannequin had more personality than everybody, because like a character would die, they find out their friend died, and like nobody has like a reaction to it, and she's covered in, the main character's like covered in blood. It's like, what happened? Are you okay? Like it just be so, and the audio just sounded so off, and I was just like, there's so many missed opportunities with this. This could have been really dope, but you know. But not like it's still like some of the worst horror movies I've seen this year were like The Children of the Corn 2023. That shit was
I ain't bother on that one. I was like, oh yeah, that might be,
it was. I find it funny, like because it was supposed to drop on Shudder earlier this year, and everybody's like, yo, what the fuck? Like you're supposed to drop it on this date, and it was never on there until like later on now that they just now put it up on there. But it was just one of those movies that like they finished that back in 2020, and it's just been sitting on the shelf for like 3 years and stuff. So that should tell you. And the fact that they made the one who walks behind the rose the whole corn monster is just hilarious to me. Like he's
No,
literally like a walking corn stalk. Like
oh boy, I'm
God.
Gucci on that one.
yeah, but it's funny.
I stopped
Hilarious.
watching the first one, bro. I saw the first Children of the Corn and I dug it, but I don't think I ain't watch any of the sequels though. I don't even know how many of them there are. To be honest with you,
Too many. Too many.
I forgot. I mean, I lost count after it was like 4, I think, and then I didn't even watch those. I think I don't even remember them at all. I remember the first one a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would rather them. If you're gonna make a bad horror movie, I'd rather it be a bad horror movie that's entertaining than a bad horror movie that's boring. Because there's nothing worse than a boring ass like bad horror movie. Because
I ain't gonna lie, I slept during The Nun, bro. There was a stretch in that movie where I get what they were doing. They were developing the characters and everything, but bro, I was in that motherfucker.
Mouth open, sir.
So Q, what you been watching as far as horror wise? Anything new?
Shoot, man, like I've been playing. I've been living horror. So like I just been playing the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I've been trying to get back to my YouTube. Like I just put out a video tonight. Thank goodness. But like I was trying to get back to my horror. Yeah. I just been playing Texas Chainsaw, man. And speaking of bringing the horror, you know what I'm saying, coming back. I mean, that brought horror to a whole new general audience that didn't have no idea. Like young kids don't even know about the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, and you know what I'm saying. So it brings it
so crazy,
to a whole nother thing, whole nother realm. Yeah. So I'm loving it. I'm loving the game. It's just like addicting like crack. You know what I'm saying? Playing as a killer. Like I said, I played as Hitchhiker. So I'm like, you know, I gotta catch one of them, Grandpa.
I can't wait for the Killer Clowns for Outer Space game. That's coming out next year.
Yep. I believe come on next. Yeah, it's gonna be fun too. Same type of deal. I think you get 4 clowns and I think 6 or 8 people or something. And you gotta find them and kill them. But Texas Chainsaw is just the best hide and go seek game. So you got this whole yard and they hide real sneakers. They're stealth, but you gotta be on your P's and Q's to keep the house locked down to keep them not from escaping. So like it's fun, you know. And speaking of like a horror movie that was banned. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, you're thinking in your mind it had all the gore and blood in the world, but it like has very, very, very little blood. I think it's just the concept that fucked people up, and it was banned in countries. But it's nothing really gross in that movie. It's nothing gross.
I mean,
it's not like a Hills Have Eyes, where Hills Have Eyes was pretty extreme. Like at that time.
Yeah, that shit was crazy, buddy. Yeah.
But Texas Chainsaw, like, because they left it to the imagination. So, like, for example, you see Leatherface pick up the girl and put her on the hook. You don't actually see the hook go in her, but you kind of hear it, and you just see her face, and you just know, okay, he just wrecked her shit, you know.
Yeah, but you don't see it. They show you the hook, like, here it's coming, bitch, it's coming, and then he just fucking they cut the camera to the front. She's like, trying to grab it, so you know what's happened. So it's super effective. That's super crazy. Like that. Cool stuff like that.
Yo, let me tell you about my first experience with Texas Chainsaw, right? So I didn't get to see that till I was like 12, because my father, he kept me away from the hardcore horror stuff. So my aunt actually had the VHS tape, right? So I spent the night at my auntie's house, and she had the VHS tape, right? So of course we had to wait till all the adults went to sleep. They're like, okay, let's pop on Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And bro, I stopped the tape when your boy was in the front of the house, and you hear like the pig squealing or whatever. And then when he runs up to the room, the face pops out of nowhere and hits him with the damn hammer. And you see him pull him in the thing, close the door.
Yeah.
I said, I stopped that bitch. I said, yo. I looked at my cousins. I said, okay, we're gonna put this on pause, right? We're gonna watch this in the morning. All right.
Yeah. Because that's like a movie you're supposed to, even as a kid or adult, it's like, this is some shit I shouldn't be watching. This is a snuff film. Like, how is it? This shit feel dirty and nasty. And
I felt like a pussy because I'm the oldest cousin, right? So I'm the oldest cousin, so I'm supposed to be the macho one, but I played it off. I said, let's wait till tomorrow morning so we can watch this while we eat some cereal, all right? And we went to bed because I was scared, bro. I couldn't let them know that.
You think you could take that leather?
What was
that?
You
could take that Leatherface. You could do touch his chin.
Touch Leatherface chin.
You think you could beat him? Yeah, you can beat him up, like, or
yeah, we were playing a game. They told him he was like, well, he was like 6'5" or some shit.
Oh wow.
Yeah, in the movie, I guess it was the guy was actually 6'5" or something. I don't know. I
and he's pretty strong though too.
Yeah,
because it's like I feel like I could get I feel like I could get the chainsaw out of his hand, but it's just like, will he overpower me if I try to, like, swing at him a couple times?
Hell yeah. That motherfucker got that retard strength and shit, son. Look, he come through that.
It's funny as hell. And he got his crazy ass. I'm more afraid of his relatives. You know what I'm saying? Because they just everywhere. They're just obnoxious as fuck. Like, they're just as crazy.
Right. And they used to punk him too. They used to punk him because remember in the first movie, like, he was like dressed in drag. They're like, get over there, Leatherface, get over there, you damn retard. He's like, he's all covered up and shit.
They be doing
That's
that
the only one that can talk to him like that. Yeah.
they be holding shit out of Leatherface. You big dumb son of a bitch. I told you, like the cook, the old man we talking to him. Don't let that chainsaw grease up. Grandpa told you to grease the chainsaw. So it's like, you really in the movie, because they actually got the hitchhiker. He's still alive. So you got his actual voice, like, talking to him, shit like this shit. Like, a horror fan, like, that's fucking pretty cool and shit. Yeah.
Speaking of what, I just seen them tease the new Goosebumps series that's coming out on Disney Plus. I'm just like, I saw one clip of the Haunted Mask. I was like, that's not the Haunted Mask. Like, there's no way. I hope that's like Phantom of the Opera or some shit, because it's just like looks like a porcelain mask or some shit like that. I was like, bro, that's not the Haunted Mask. And then a little bit of Say Cheese and Die, where it looks like they're actually going to be using cheese or some shit. Like, I was like, bro, I hope that's just not I hope they don't fuck that up, but
they're gonna fuck it up. It's Disney Plus, man. I'm serious.
Yeah.
No, I'm serious. I'm like, I want to get rid of Disney Plus, man. Like, it's nothing. You know what I'm saying? I own all the Marvel movies. You know what I'm saying? And most of Star Wars and their shows have just been so lackluster. Ahsoka, you talk about being asleep with your mouth open. That shit.
First two episodes put me to sleep. Episode 4 was
That was all right. Yeah, that was all right. You know what I'm saying? Mandalorian was trash. Like, I was like, why am I paying? Yo, went up in price. Like, there's nothing to watch on this bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't.
That's why I think.
Too. Like, man.
Yeah, Goosebumps. I'm gonna still check it out because I want to see. Because Nickelodeon just came back with Are You Afraid of the Dark? They're like 3 seasons in, but like they went pretty like. It's pretty dark. Like, the first 2 seasons are pretty fucking dark in tone and stuff. I was like, damn, this almost feels like some like early American Horror Story stuff type stuff, but like a little bit more toned down, but just in a right, like, it's almost more for like older teens than for like straight up kids and stuff. It just kept that same dark tone than like the original had and stuff like that. And they mentioned stuff like the ghastly grinner and all that, and you know what I'm saying, like that stuff. I hope that they can go that route with it, and they just don't just throw a bunch of bullshit together, because there's a lot of interesting Goosebumps like stories that if you put a darker twist on it, especially like the Haunted Mask, like that could be really like gold for them, especially with them now coming out with like American Horror Story. I was just like, I saw the trailer for that shit. I was like, I don't even recognize the series anymore. Like,
I'm way behind that. Let me ask you a quick question. So like when you was coming up, we probably a little bit older than you. So your anthology horror movie shows you probably came up of was like Goosebumps and Are You Afraid of the Dark, right?
Yeah. It was Are You Afraid of the Dark, Goosebumps, So Weird. That's a deep cut for Disney. I just seen. I don't really remember. Who was the other one? Because they just put a bunch of it on Tubi just recently.
Did you ever
Erie, Indiana, or some shit like that?
Erie, Indiana.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I think I remember hearing that. Yep.
Yeah, that I watched. Tales from the Crypt. I watched Boys in the Hood.
Tales from the Hood. Boys in the Hood is a horror story too.
Yeah. Tales from the Hood. I remember watching. I remember when I was younger, I watched Killjoy. That shit's fucking funny. I was like, I don't know why I was kind of creeped out by that back when I was younger, but then I watch it now. It's just like this shit was stupid. Um, but yeah, that was kind of like my earlier. That was like my shit for like kids and stuff. Because when Snick was a thing, you'd watch Are You Afraid of the Dark? That's when it would come on, or they'll just put on like any Halloween special. Like I thought like Nickelodeon had some great Halloween specials, like the Hey Arnold shit, and all the other cartoons that did their own specials. That's what another thing is kind of missing too. Because nobody really does Halloween specials no more.
Mm-mm.
It's very rare. You know what I'm saying? Like we had Werewolf by Night last year. That was like the best thing Marvel put out. Like that shit was fire.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Yeah.
I
Like
got to finish that.
Yeah, like we came up like it was like Tales from the Dark Side.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you really want to go real old, you know what I'm saying? We had Twilight Zone reruns, you know what I'm saying?
Zone,
There was a show Monsters, Tales from the Crypt, things like that. And then this is how old I am, though. Remember when I used to show the Great Pumpkin, it used to be like this beautiful special thing, you know what I'm saying? It was like, hold on, the whole house got to shut down. I got to get my blanket and shit, get in front of here and watch the Great Pumpkin. It only came on at like 6 or 7 o'clock. You only got one shot to watch it,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? And like, that shit just don't exist no more. Now you just Great Pumpkin like right on TV and just, on YouTube, just pull it up. Like, yo, it ain't nothing special about it anymore. So I do want more horror specials too. That's why I was so excited when Shudder brought Creepshow back. I was like, yeah, Grant Nicotero, this is gonna be the best shit ever.
Season 4 coming out next month.
Yeah, they had some all right episodes, but some of them were like, well, the budget wasn't quite there. I just keep it like that. On some of them episodes, I was kind of like,
I liked Del Toro's series he came out with last year?
Yeah. Masters of Horror? No, that one Masters of Horror.
No. It's the Cabinets of Curiosity, whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you try to put
that was dope.
Watch that,
That was dope.
On there. That's another one that's not too old. I think came around in mid 2000s. Masters of Horror, like with all the best directors, got a chance to make a short, like Del Toro and all those. They have some good stories.
I would love to see them bring that back, but it'd be like the new Masters as far as like have Jordan Peele make a joint, make Mike Flanagan make a joint, like you know what I'm saying, like
Ari Aster, let him get one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that'd be really dope, like just a one-off or something like that. Because I like that. The only one I really liked out of the Masters of Horrors was the Fairchild, whatever. That was really fucking. That was fucked up.
Yeah, that was fine.
Yeah, that was a fucked up one. But yeah, like I said, like the state of horror right now is just so. It's up. It's going up. That's you got from TV, from movies, video games now. You know what I'm saying? Also, anime's got their shit too. So.
Yo, that's what I'm saying. If I had to place my money down, like, you got superheroes for the next 3 years, or you can place your money down on these, you know what I'm saying, on the horror genre. I'm putting my money on the horror genre, son. You know what I'm saying? These superhero movies are failing horribly. The Warner Brothers had a horrible year with their superhero movies. Just horrible all the way around. Nothing was successful for Warner Brothers this year. Period on the superhero frame. They might have broke even a little bit, but they was horrible. But like these little Blumhouse or make a little Megan or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Warner Brothers to be sneaky, like, well, this movie kind of good, so we put it out in theaters, make some money, and because horror is so cheap to make. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? And teenagers and people in the middle age, everyone loves to be scared. You got a hardcore horror fanatics like me. You know what I'm saying? Looking at the camera work and the lighting and cinematography and everything, but like most people just want to be scared. They just want to go and be scared, jump in there. They're great date movies. You know what I'm saying? Even the girl might not like horror movies. I had plenty of dates like that. I don't know, but you going? You going?
You going?
I don't give a fuck. You want to eat tonight? Yeah, we watching Evil Dead.
It's the perfect type of movie to go spend your money to see because it's the thrill of being scared. You know what I'm saying? Deep down inside, I think of the human psyche. We all want to be scared because it's exciting. You know what I'm saying? It's thrilling. You know what I'm saying? Horror movies are fun. Most of them are. You know what I mean? So to me, I think it's the perfect genre, the perfect type of film to go spend your money on, as opposed to a rom-com or a fucking drama and shit like that. Shit that's gonna make you cry. Like, Passion of the Christ, which I did like Passion of the Christ, but bro, I watched Passion of the Christ one time, I'll never see it again.
Yeah.
But you make a good point though. Like even like with horror, like you can get those emotions out of people. You can get like something that's like emotionally gripping or something like that. And it's very experimental. Like it might not be for everybody. Like Skinamarink, that wasn't for me, but I appreciate them trying to do something new with that genre and making it more atmospheric. Same thing with, like I like the Outer Waters more than Skinamarink because they have very similar styles for what they're going for, but there's just a little bit more to Outer Waters than Skinamarink. So
I like to piggyback off of that too. You know what I'm saying? With horror, directors don't have especially early directors, they don't have a lot of money to work with, so they have to be very, very creative with their ideas. Like take Jordan Peele out, Get Out. That was only like $5 million they gave him, and that that's still a pretty good budget. But he had to use his imagination, his creativity to come up with this concept. You know what I'm saying? To sell it to the world. Nightmare on Elm Street was a small budget, and it's the house that built New Line Cinema. That the Hobbits and everything else came out of it. But if it wasn't for Nightmare on Elm Street, they would not have had a property. And that was just Wes Craven thinking of some shit that scared him. You know what I'm saying? Looking out the window, seeing this old man in the sweater. Like, scared the shit out of him. It's like,
that's crazy.
And then everybody knows Nightmare, so there you go.
Yeah, and that's how like they've come up with ideas. It's just like personal experiences or like things that they've seen before, just taking concepts where like now you're seeing a lot of like fairy tale or just those childhood characters like Winnie the Pooh and stuff like that being turned into horror movies now, which is I always thought it was a dope idea because I always thought that like something like Peter Pan would be a perfect horror movie. Ooh. Like just that premise of a dude going into your kid's room while they're sleeping and shit, like that shit is fucking terrifying. Like that is not a kid's movie. Like
Facts.
I'm gonna take you to Neverland means you're never going to come back. Like
don't be surprised they do that, man, because that's actually a horrifying concept. While you playing?
That's a good idea.
Yeah. It'd be somewhat. I can always see it like being somewhat like it a little bit, but like have Peter Pan be a little bit more playful and just kind of looking more innocent, like to the kids. But when you see his real kind of face or whatever, he kind of changes or something like that. He changes his appearance or something.
So Peter Pan would be the villain. Villain.
Yeah. Damn, but shit, let me ask y'all this though, man. Like, well, I don't know if let me see. I don't know if I'm gonna put this in the form of a question or a statement, but to me, I feel like horror to me right now kind of mirrors hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Where
exactly.
In the 80s, you know what I'm saying, horror movies was more, like I said earlier, it was more cult. You know what I'm saying? Like Q, remember you go to the video store, horror had like its own like hidden section that you had to go either downstairs into a basement, or they had like their own hidden room that you had to go into. So horror was more of a cult following. And, like I said, the fans were hardcore fans, but it wasn't like the masses weren't ready for Elm Street and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? But now it's a place where you got video games now. They got the T-shirts on sale in the store. You know what I'm saying? Bro, you couldn't find a Michael Myers Jason T-shirt in the store back in the day with Freddie,
like at Walmart or something. No, or Myers.
Yeah. So I guess my question is, with horror now being more popular than it's ever been, is that going to hurt the genre? Because now you're going to have more studio interference, you're going to have bigger budgets, which means more restraint, more. You can't go outside the box like you used to do. Where like what I'm saying, like back in the day, you could just go buck wild and put it out there, you know what I'm saying? And you knew your hardcore fans were going to love it. But now, when you have so much on the line where, okay, we're putting $10 million into this film, so we have to keep it a little safe, but still try to make that money, is that going to dilute the genre and make it not as pure?
I don't necessarily think that, because it's like you said, it's already become mainstream. I think just because of the since like the internet and social media has become more popular, like it's easier to kind of branch out to a wider audience. One of the episodes that I had for this that I want, because I've always thought about this, it's going to be episode 7, is like what's going to be the first horror movie to hit $1 billion? Because like it got close. That was like 700 something. So it's like, but I don't want to talk about that right there. Yeah, like $1 billion. But that's for another episode. But but that stuff is fascinating to me because it's like you look at horror back in the day, back in like the 20s with like Nosferatu, The Man Who Laughs and stuff like that, the early days and like and then the monster universe, you just see how it changes and it's just like I don't think even if you had bigger budget in horror movies, there's always going to be the indie guys, the smaller guys that like there's always going to be an audience just for indie horror and stuff like that. If it gets too crazy with the budgets and it goes the way of like superhero movies or something like that.
Right.
So
I mean, I guess I asked that question because like what's the last movie you can think of that actually like scared you? You know what I'm saying? I mean, I know that we've seen so many horror movies now, especially at we old heads now. So like, but what's the last movie that you saw? You'd be like, damn, that kind of fucked me up a little bit.
The only things that scare me in horror movies nowadays is creepy ass kids and creepy ass old people. Like The Visit was very effective. Like that whole scene with the old lady in the crawl space, that shit was fucking crazy. I was like, bruh, nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
I know Rashad gonna hate me for this one. Last movie that kind of scared me was a little bit. And I don't get scared for shit, bro. Like, but Hereditary though, that there was something was something was weird about that movie. I don't know what it was.
Very disturbing, yeah.
It was disturbing, or that light when like it was like the paranormal stuff, and it just like kind of like and filled the room, and the lady with the piano wire or whatever, she was sawing her own neck off, was clawing on walls.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Weird, bro.
That was a beautiful movie though.
Yeah, I like it. I know Rashad don't dig that one. But that's one.
Watch it again, probably.
yeah, it's good. It's like October in the rain. But that brings me to my point. Studios like A24 is gonna. Right now, they're still taking chances on newer directors and horror directors and let them do what they want. So, like, Talk to Me was a great example. They were YouTubers, Raka and them. You know what I'm saying? They let them do a movie, and they end up being highly successful. You know what I'm saying? Almost they move it to that 100 million mark. You know what I'm saying? Like after it hits video and stuff, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna make a lot more money because I'm definitely gonna purchase that one to watch on a rainy day with the family or something. So fuck them up. So they can't sleep.
Hey kids,
are you gonna get one of those replicas?
Talk to me.
Like Talk to Me. Like they got the replica hands coming out. I was like, yeah, that's perfect.
Like, yeah. Like
I want that. The Spirit of Halloween could be selling them shits like hotcakes, but I can see it now.
Could you consider that to be a horror icon? Just the hand, like over time.
Yeah, because they're already greenlit for a sequel. So like with that, it's a good idea. So they can go however, because it's like I said, I think that's a metaphor for social media and addiction. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, that's what I got from it. I was like, wow.
Yeah. The TikTok dance. Let's just talk to demons and spirits. Just hold.
Instead of doing drinking beers, smoking weed, doing drugs, like this is their drug. Like getting possessed.
And look, and I dare you, that'd be funny if they have like the hand in Spirit of Halloween and they dare you to go and try it. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna be like Bloody Mary and Candyman. I dare you to grab this hand and say, "Talk to me. I'll let you in. Do it."
I would want the actual like thing from the set though. Like that's the shit I would want because that shit looks so dope to me. Because as I got all the like names and writing on it and stuff, just something about it is just eerie as fuck. But I'm saying though, like you, I can't believe I'm saying this, bro, because you know me for a minute, bro. I have a newfound respect for A24 because, like you said, hate the movies and love the movies. They take chances. They go places where the average studio film will not go, and
they won't give them a chance.
I got respect them for that, man. So y'all hope we stick around for a long time because we need them. We need A24 right now.
Yeah, I think so. I think we need A24, but I'm not saying like all their movies are, you know what I'm saying, exclusive. I ain't Lamb. Fuck that movie because I didn't know what.
I wasn't watching that. I wasn't watching that. I wasn't watching Lamb Chop. Bro.
I saw that in the theater, bro. I went to AMC and watched that motherfucker, man.
I was excited for it. Like, I was excited. Like A24 might really be coming left with this one. Animals and lambs, it can get real weird sexually or something. I don't know what's going on.
Like if they can make a movie about a lamb, I can make whatever now. They'll you know what I'm saying? You can make whatever. That's what's really dope about horror. You can do whatever. You can't do that in any other genre, bro.
Yeah.
You can't.
Stick to your box. You got to. You got.
Oh, they made a movie about a killer sloth, man. A killer sloth. Are you kidding me?
Drugging chicks. Like
drugging chicks.
Slowly.
Watch it. Where's on Shudder or something?
Nah, I don't know when it's gonna be on streaming, but it was like it had like a theatrical run. I would assume that it'll be out on digital or something like that by next month.
Okay.
Just the way
Yeah,
things are going.
it's so quick. Yeah, like stuff on digital.
But
Like
that's what's but that's what's so dope about horror, man. It's just like you can just get so creative. You can make something super silly or something ultra serious or something in the middle. You know what I'm saying? And it just sometimes if it hits the right audience, it can just blow the fuck up.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. That's why I say coming off the 80s, you know what I'm saying? Everybody not be the biggest fan of Scream, but it just hit at the right time. It's like the first one is like, bam. You know what I'm saying? You had people my age that was I'm the Billy and Stu. I'm that nerd guy to know all. I was like, yeah, these my dudes right here. So what? You know what
the daughter that
was the killer.
Yeah, actually dropped when I was in high school when that came out. So yeah, I was actually a senior when the first Scream dropped. So that movie was a big deal at the time. I'm not a big fan of the franchise, but that first movie I got called Spade a Spade. That first movie was my shit.
Yeah, I think the first one is a great slasher. The rest of them, you know, was all. Even the new one, how brutal. Like before it came on, like, oh yeah, I already know this by now. Yep, you the killer. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but four is the one that made me appreciate the franchise as a whole more, because I never was I was like Rashad, I was never really big on Scream until I watched Scream 4. I was like, wow, that was a fucking crazy twist.
Okay.
And I was just like, it was just, and then made me want to go back and rewatch them, and just like I appreciate what they try to do and how Scream is like a little bit more realistic compared to other slashers, where it's you know what I'm saying, just it's like a whodunit type shit. But
yeah, at that time, that
and where to go in the future, that's another. That's another. I think just the sky's the limit right now. It's really anything goes, and who knows what the next like big hit's gonna be? Because like now we keep bringing up Terrifier. I think that created like a whole new subgenre. And now, like, what is going to be next after that? And,
you said that right, subgenre, because regular name Freddy can come out and do what Terrifier does. You know what I'm saying? Well, Michael Myers, they can't go that hard, bro. Can't nobody go that hard unless you're independent.
I'm just scared. I hope Terrifier just don't sell out, man. You know what I'm saying?
No,
stay. You know what I mean? Like, as much as I love the Elm Street movies, after the third movie, man, them shit started selling out, bro. They started getting like watered down Kool-Aid, bro.
But I like that Damien has talked about, like, he's thought about doing the fourth one, but he never wants to like overdo it. You know, he has an ending in mind and stuff like that. He never wants it to go like the way of other slashers and stuff like that. And I appreciate that, because some of them just need like a good 1, 2, 3, boom, and just move on to the next thing.
Because people forget Freddy was scary, man. Like, I had a cousin who started watching him like later on, where Freddy became a stand-up comedian. And then I fucked around and showed him that first movie and fucked him up. That first Elm Street.
He's a little scary too, to be honest with you. He's a little bit, you know what I'm saying?
Speaking of which, did y'all see Dylan's New Nightmare?
Is that the link? Is that the link you
sent me? Yeah.
You said what?
Is that the link you sent me?
Yeah, that's on. It's on YouTube now. So that shit was actually pretty. Like, Dave McCray is a great Freddy. Like, he really embodies that shit. Like, and I was like, I need a part 2 for that. I need a part 2 for that, because it's pretty much like their sequel to like A New Nightmare and stuff like that. Like,
wow, yeah, cool. I'm gonna check that out tonight. I've been dying to get to it, but like, I'm definitely gonna watch it. That'll be one I probably watch tonight. So yeah, thanks for reminding me.
That was really good. And I also like watching. Sometimes I'll catch myself on Alter and stuff. Watch a lot of smaller, like the short films and stuff like that. I got a homie, YouTube homie, shout out to Rap Nerd. He came out with his own. He made like 2 short films. The one he just recently put out called Pumpkin Spiced, that was really good. I'll probably put a link of that in the description after this. It's like 10 minutes, but that's a really good good little concept right there. Y'all should check that out as well. Yeah, I think we're gonna start to wrap things up since we're almost at the hour mark and stuff like that. Q, you got anything you want to plug?
Yeah, I just put out finally, as I was promoting last time, I finally got around to finish, stop playing Texas Chainsaw and finish my Tuna Tyler Tuna review for My Strange Addiction. So that's up on my channel right now.
Mm.
I'm waiting for September now. It's time for spooky season. I'm waiting for the
Hell
for
yeah.
more good
Facts.
horror movies come out. I'm looking forward to The Exorcist and things like that. So but I'm still curious. A lot of stuff was coming out in October. So I'm probably gonna be doing some retro a full hood breakdowns of some horror movies this month, and then you can catch me every week on the on Flicks Talk with you know what I'm saying, Why Won't You Die podcast, where we'll be doing Return of the Living Dead this week, I think. And other than that, man, just chilling, man. Thanks for having me on again. It's super dope.
Yeah, no problem, no
As
problem.
always.
Like I said, it's always open. Anytime you available, you know what I'm saying, you can always pop on. Rashad, what you got going?
Well, I just dropped a video today. I did a retro review for the 1983 movie Bad Boys with Sean Penn. And I keep saying his name on Esai Morales. So yeah, I collabed with Dave from Interpreting the Stars because I'm trying to get him to watch more gangster movies. He doesn't like gangster movies or prison movies, so I'm trying to convert him. And yeah, so I don't know. I just thought about Bad Boys and you know, what's that?
So I don't trust him if we go like gangster movies and and
he hates The Godfather. He can't stand Scarface.
Damn.
Yeah, I really originally I gave him American Me, and he couldn't finish it. He said he didn't like it, so I said, okay, fuck it, watch Bad Boys instead. So that video's on the channel. I just uploaded that today, and like Dr. Dre with Detox, I'm still trying to drop that Sam LaRusso ain't shit video. Okay, it's taking me forever to drop, man. It's my detox right now. So
hey, the more time you put into it, the better it's gonna be. That's how I look at it.
Exactly. And I might go because they got the 40th anniversary of Christine at the AMC tomorrow. So
I was thinking about that too.
Yeah, so I might check that out and drop a little retro review for that as well.
Nice.
So yeah, and I just dropped the Nun review, the Nun 2 review yesterday. I just dropped. And then I think next week, A Haunting in Venice comes out. Is that supposed to be a horror movie?
Yeah, I got free tickets
I forget
to that.
the hell was it. Is that connected to those other movies?
That's right. Mississippi Nile on the where was it called? Trouble
yeah,
on the
Death
Nile,
on the Nile or some shit. Yeah. I was like, bro, I kind of don't want to watch this.
Yeah, I'm kind of not excited. You know what I'm saying? Last horror movie I seen in theaters was Voyage to the Demeter, and I was like, yeah.
I like that movie. I like that.
I was one that didn't like it. Yeah. I thought they cut away for the kill. Dracula wasn't hard enough. He wasn't in the movie enough. Like, yo, son, I need you to be Nosferatu on him. He was just kind of the sting on the ship. You know?
Okay. Well, I got the digital of that, so I'm gonna probably check that out sometime.
Yeah, because a lot of people like it. It's like mixed reviews, so I didn't love it.
Okay, all right. Well, but other than that, yeah, that's all I got coming up so far.
All right, true. Yeah, like for me, the next horror movie I'm looking forward to in theaters is probably It Lives Inside. Outside of that, there's this one on Shudder called Bloodflower. I might watch that tonight. I don't know.
Bloodflower sounds interesting.
Yeah, it's like a newer movie. Yeah, I'm just gonna be looking out for because I just been really into watching like documentaries like on Tubi and shit. Like they had this one about fuck is his name? The special effects dude. Why am I drawing
Rick Baker, Tom Savini?
Goddamn.
Tom Savini, Rick Baker.
No.
I was thinking of Tom
Savini.
Yeah, Tom Savini.
Yeah, Tom Savini and stuff. That stuff is interesting. I was like, that was a crazy man. That was a crazy motherfucker. Like,
he's my hero.
Stuff like that. Yeah. Or I'll just put on like Shudder TV.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
Shudder on my PlayStation 5. I'm like, what kind of shit is that?
What are you saying, Rashad?
Oh no, I was gonna say, did you ever watch that? I think Q, you try to put me on to the top 100 horror movie moments or whatever, or top 100 scary moments.
Oh, the one is it on Shudder? I believe, right?
Yeah, there's one on Shudder.
AMC, yeah, because I watched it on YouTube, man, and I watched the whole thing, and I'm like, dude, who the fuck put this together?
Yeah,
like the number one horror movie moment ever was fucking Jaws. Are you serious?
Was that?
That was probably AMC. That was AMC's list.
That was okay. That was AMC. Yeah, I think Jaws made number one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Shudder's got 101.
Yeah. And then they got, what is it, Darkness or whatever it's called, that one too, with all the horror movies from each time period. Like, here's all 1980s.
Tubi also had like with like the top 50 horror movies you've never heard of or some shit like that, or like you haven't watched before. But
okay,
yeah,
so I probably gotta check out the Shudder one. The AMC list was kind of whack, bro. I'm like, ooh, what the fuck?
You got
Blair Witch over. You got Blair Witch over Halloween. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, I appreciate you coming on. Appreciate coming on. Next week is going to be episode 4. The disrespect for horror. So that should be interesting. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate whoever tuned in live. And once again, whoever's checking out this on the replay, make sure you share it. Hit the like button if you're new. This is the first time you ever seen a stream from me. Subscribe. But yeah, I'm going to get out of here. I'll see y'all later.
All right. Peace.